Going, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EGFC Season 3, that is. I'm South Beach here, joined by Bars the Journey, and for our first matchup here, we got the defending champs, Mississippi State University, going up against Marquette University.
Yeah, like the defending champs, just like you said. I remember, if I remember correctly, they're also kind of dominant towards the end of the stretch last year, also last season, I should say. So I'm really looking forward to see if they carry that momentum in this season so far.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're starting already with Mr. Man and Spencer, and so we see right now Chico in on the Spencer side. I believe that is the Marquette player, and Mr. Man, I believe MIA actually for the Mississippi State side, playing as Mario. Definitely a really popular Mario player in EGF right now. Up 15% over Spencer, 61% with 3 stocks apiece.
Yeah, and right now you can already tell he's going in very aggressively, right? In order to fight against heavies as Mario, you probably need to have a good, strong combo game, right? Because they shouldn't be able to press a lot of buttons. They probably shouldn't be able to fight after you touch them once. And you already see him Don Kong at 90% right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But the one thing is, if you're going up against Donkey Kong, you gotta definitely get a higher percentage. I mean, 104, that's plenty for sure, but Donkey Kong is a big, thick character and pretty hard to kill. So, although right now we're seeing MIA having no problem stacking up all the percentages so far, and it looks like we might see an easy kill. Oh, the fire!
Yeah.
Oh, the fireball gets it.
Yeah, we got that fireball gift, and I feel like he's been setting up for that almost very consistently, right? We saw him trying to set up that for on the other side with the fireball, didn't really get it, but you can already see like the approach that he's taking, trying to get DK at a very steep angle and trying to snipe from deep.
So it's 3-2 in terms of stocks, and right now MIA already close to evening out the damage percentage, but Donkey Kong able to grab a little bit more damage on the side of things, and this could be a throw, not going to
Yeah.
be able to kill.
Yeah, and that's actually a DI mix-up, and that was a good spike coming out from Chico. But that is a DI mix-up coming out from Donkey Kong, right? They'll try to do the back throw, cargo back throw to mix you up, and if you DI in, that's definitely that could definitely be a stock. But MIA privy to that mix-up and not losing their stock for that.
So now it's 2 stocks piece, excuse me. 126 for Chico, only 21 for MIA. So should be a pretty easy takeaway unless you go up against Donkey Kong's Rage, which looks like it's in full activation. But
Wow.
this throw could take him out, and it does. So 2-1.
Yeah, getting that back throw at the ledge, right? You could actually run through people at the ledge when they do a standard get up like that. So that was a good game knowledge by MIA. And also you could tell that they're playing a lot of cat and mouse with Donkey Kong, right? Donkey Kong isn't the fastest character, and you see, MIA doing a lot of these two-piece combos and pushing DK to the ledge.
We earlier saw Chico try to go for a combo into a spike, but not able to take out MIA, but able to take MIA down right there. Now it's down to the very last stock, but right now Chico sitting at a dangerous 105%.
Yeah.
Double spikes. It looks like MIA just wants him to the ledge.
Yeah, going for those forward air reads, and I'm a little surprised he went for the forward air reads and not for the back air reads. But I guess try to get the emotional advantage going forward, right?
Now pressing onto the ledge, not letting Chico recover whatsoever, but finally able to. And it's going to be the back air, and MIA takes game 1 for Mississippi State in this set. And only just 1 point, though, so Marquette able to make this a competition.
Yeah, and pushing, you could tell that MIA was aggressive out from the start, and even ending that game 1 with that aggression, just chasing Donkey Kong to the edge with that back air. Very safe move, very hard to punish, especially for a character like DK, who's very slow, has very slow out of shield options for the most part, right? Nothing really to compete with Mario back air on shield, and really had no answer for that.
Absolutely. We just saw a lot of pressure come in from MIA for the most part. And let's take a look at these replays here. Here's that first stock. All it was just a simple fireball to tell Chico, ain't no way you're getting up here. And then here's this beautiful spike from Chico. Just great placement.
Yeah.
Good throw. And then here's this one.
Yeah. MIA just flinching there. I don't know what they tried to go for. They tried to go for like the level 10 read, but got punished for it.
And then obviously the one that sealed the deal for Mississippi State in game number 1. Able to recover there easily, but then just a few back airs for Mario. Like all the back airs, like Mario's overall game, he's a pretty good neutral character. He can just do pretty much almost anything in this game, and you know those aerials that he does, especially for a combo game, it's pretty deadly.
Yeah, and speaking of aerials, right? Like we know Mario has good aerials and whatnot, right? But we haven't really seen Chico use any of Donkey Kong's back airs, right? Like that's one of the popular aerials that Donkey Kong's like to use. A very good move, very fast move can get you in, but Chico hasn't really gotten a chance to use that.
Absolutely. Oh no, and MIA after such a hot start, getting Chico to 122. Just SDs there, just kind of I assume just a miss button hit or something like that.
Yeah. Probably dismissed and put in something random. Looked like they tried to tech and tech a little bit too early. But if they get the stock off without taking damage, they'll be in good position.
Absolutely. Right now, 170 for Chico, only 16 for MIA, and Chico's 182 and counting. And now it's back to deuces apiece.
Yeah, it's almost like that stock didn't happen. But yeah, right now, man, it just seems like even with that stock loss, MIA is in complete control. And we're not even really seeing a lot of the optimal combos come out, except for right now. We got a really long combo string going on. But yeah, giving a lot of Chico like more chance than you would see against a Mario, right? That has a heavier combo game, but getting the job done.
Absolutely. And there's the spinny move that Mario does. That's always super deadly. Luigi has the same one. That's just, you don't have an answer really for it. You got to just take that damage and right along with it. Chico's really in trouble, needs to find an answer to break Mario's combo game, and that's not it.
Yeah, got the cape trump at the ledge, right? Mario can use that cape to trump very easily because he gets drift on it, and it's almost like it's immediate trump. It's a cheat code that Mario can do at the ledge. It's pretty funny.
We saw a few of those back airs from Chico, as you mentioned. We needed to see him more. That looks like they almost got MIA off stage, but that platform on the right was able to save him. But that's gonna be pretty handy if you want to try to keep this game even, and that's what Chico needed. What a spike!
Yeah, MIA tried to get a little too cute on that combo, got counter hit by Chico, and now we have a game.
It's coming down to this very last. Oh, come on! That's not how you want to end this game. Either way, MIA will take it, and now it's going to be 4-0 for Mississippi State, taking game 1 of this best of 5 series, and they're still looking like the defending champions that we saw from last year.
Yeah, just off to like a fast, aggressive start, right? Way to start the game out in a Mario DK matchup, right? But yeah, it just seems like a little bit unfortunate at the end of the game, right? Looked like probably wanted a buffered roll at the ledge, but yeah, either way, just very good aggression coming out from MIA. We see that unfortunate SD, but that's what you need to do as Mario, especially against a heavy. You need to keep the pressure on. You need to keep the combo game going on. You need to make it as hard for the heavy character to land as possible, and that's exactly what MIA did. It stuck to the game plan as fast as possible and as best as possible, and came out with the win. Pretty pretty dominant victory, I would say.
Indeed, that's probably the highlight play right there. That Donkey Kong spike, and then just it started off with a mistake with MIA, and then it ended with a mistake with Chico. So how fitting of a match that was indeed. Looks like Marquette is gonna do a quick restart on their Switch. Just a little bit of technical issues probably on our end, but right now we're trying to get in our next few what do I call it? Our next few players for each school. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. Whoever goes up next.
Yeah. Yeah. No. If I remember correctly, I think Mississippi State they have a Mario, and I think do they have a ZSS? Do I remember that correctly?
Yes, Mr. Man for Mississippi State is ZSS.
Yeah. 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 I know they have a ZSS. So like already high high octane character picks, right? We already saw the Mario combo game. Very strong combo game character, and like maybe if we could see his DSS next, right? Maybe we could see some flip cut confirmed, maybe some roofs off the top, getting some exciting gameplay going to this next game. But like already off to a strong start today, off to definitely a strong start.
I believe we might be seeing Mr. Man tonight in this series. He, MIA, and Canoe for Mississippi State are all playing on the same Switch, and it actually is Mr. Man up next for Mississippi State. So indeed, we'll be seeing that Zero Suit Samus player in here, and we're just waiting word on who Marquette's sending in next.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, Mr. Man. And we don't have. Looks like we don't have. We don't have an opponent for the other side yet, but yeah. But it looks like it looks like we are gonna start at town no matter what. So I see town and city. I see ZSS. The first thing I think of is the carnival's coming to town. So especially when you have characters like that can get very strong routes. Like Mario and DSS, like you could already tell we're gonna lose some stocks early.
Absolutely. And with Marquette, some of the players that they main, Dwightzar is a Yoshi main. We have Spencer rocking Ness. We also got Quaz rocking Pokemon Trainer. Obviously, we saw Chica with Donkey Kong. We also have a Jigglypuff player, a Wolf player, and then we also have a Corrin player. So if I was like Marquette, if you're going up against Zero Suit Samus, who would you like out of all those guys? What's a good character to go up against in your opinion?
You said a wolf, right?
Yeah. Yes, that would be Sputter out who mains Wolf.
Yeah. I don't know the the character order or like the player orders that they're going in. But if I were like a betting man, I'd probably throw out the wolf. Wolf pretty much has like a pretty good matchup against ZSS. Big buttons in the air, nair, forward air, right stuff to challenge ZSS in the air, because ZSS sometimes is very hard to hit in the air because of her frame, and Wolf doesn't really have to worry about that because he has such big buttons. So I probably would go with Wolf in that matchup.
Absolutely. It looks like Marquette's actually going to be sending in Extreme, and Extreme, I believe, is the Corrin player. So
Okay.
if the matchup is right, will be blah blah. What am I trying to say? It will be Zero Suit Samus versus Corrin in round 1. And it looks like Marquette is banning PS2 to start.
Okay.
So we're going to wait on other stages.
Yeah, so yeah, with Sword against ZSS, it doesn't sound too bad on paper. But the thing about Corrin is also kind of a slow character. So ZSS, being a faster character, right? ZSS with the lead, it's gonna probably be a little bit of a headache for Corrin. Corrin also doesn't have the best confirms in the world or things to try to catch ZSS. So I feel like it could be a little bit of a hassle just to catch ZSS in that aspect. But I think as Corrin, you can do some things. Right, especially in the air-to-air game, you probably could do some things in CSS, maybe at the ledge too. So we'll see how it turns out.
Absolutely. It looks like the stage we're going to is going to be Smashville, and it's actually Sora instead of Zero Suit Samus.
Okay. We're gonna everybody in their Soras. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen. I think we've all seen a bunch of Sora gameplay at this point, right? A character which has a little bit weird of a weird weight problem, but definitely does have confirms, right? Definitely has some devastating confirms that they could pull up with. So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. Definitely some of the players in EGF still trying to get used to Sora. Most of them have gotten the hang of it. We'll see if we know anything about Mississippi State. They know how to play their characters very well, so we'll see if Mr. Man has a pretty good knowledge and talent to use Sora here in this matchup here. And I mean, so far looking pretty good, as it's the 107 to 38 in terms of damage percent ratio.
Yeah, and and that's that counter. Oh. That counter is so devastating, right? Because the thing about it is it holds you in place, right? It almost pauses you like a Bayonetta witch time, right? So it puts you in place, and then you get hit really hard. The only downside is that there's no back hitbox of it, but when you get hit like that, especially with a recovery like Corrin, you're almost guaranteed to lose the stuff.
So now we're looking at 52 to 51. Mr. Man already controlling the damage game again, as Corrin is struggling once again in terms of trying to get a hit off. And there's that Thunder. All you can do is do the recovery, and Mr. Man got him with the counter again.
And it's looking very rough for Extreme trying to find a punish, especially out of shield. Corrin doesn't have the strongest out of shield game, and when you see Mr. Man just playing another person playing this cat and mouse game against Corrin, even though Extreme got that forward smash at the ledge, it's just been a struggle for Extreme to get any type of offense started.
Mr. Man definitely moving around really well. Finally, Extreme getting an answer in terms of a stock, but sitting at one stock left in Mr. Man's 2. Here comes the Thunder. And
Mr. Man just punishing the end lag of that side B. One thing that Corrin does have a lot of end lag on that side B, even if it does hit your shield.
And another thing to note about Sora, he's kind of stating the obvious. The recovery he's got, it's pretty sick. It's pretty hard to beat him without the recovery.
Yeah. And could also go really deep off stage like you saw there. And you see Mr. Man just trying their hand at going off stage, something that we haven't seen. And way to steal off that last stock. Really turning up the aggression off stage, something that we did not see in the first 2 stocks. And, taking that very commandingly.
So Mr. Man taking game number 1 in this match against Extreme, making the total 6-0 with his 2 stock lead. So definitely seeing a pretty good Sora player in the making right here.
We saw a lot of the counter off stage, especially, right? Making Extreme recover low, throwing out a lot of these projectiles high to make Extreme go low, and then just hitting them with the counter. And Extreme kind of really didn't have an answer for it. We saw a little bit of a shine of light, there, with Extreme taking that first stock, but honestly, it's been almost all Mr. Man. Especially we saw glimpses of the off-stage game towards the end of that by Mr. Man. So maybe we might see a character switch by Extreme.
Maybe. It's definitely kind of hard to go up against a Sora, even though he's definitely the newest character in the game. Still trying to, even though it's been about 3 weeks, a few weeks since he's been out now, still trying to understand what his weaknesses are and all that, and try to go up against him. So maybe a character switch might be in play. However, Corrin could still make an appearance, but once again, never really know. But right now we have our 3 bands from Mississippi State, our Lilat, Final Destination, and Kalos. So it looks like Marquette's waiting to choose their stage.
Yeah, if they're gonna stick Corrin, I would probably guess a tripod. Very good sortie stage. So if anything, but we see PS2 actually, which is a little bit surprising, but still a decent sortie stage, right? I feel like going into this next game, if they are going to stay Corrin, I feel like they need to maybe slow down the pace a little bit. And we see, talk about slowing down the pace. We're seeing a villager come onto the.
That's how you do it, I guess. All right, so New character coming in with Villager to go up against Sora. Now, definitely more excuse me. Villager's definitely got more projectiles to throw against Sora. Obviously, those rockets, the slingshot is coming into play.
Mhm.
And then I think the recovery is even a little bit better too with the balloons.
Yeah, less exploitation on the recovery, and we could already see that Extreme is taking the ranged approach, right? Trying to interact a little bit less with Sora. But the one thing about it is, right, especially if you're playing from Deficit, you're gonna have to interact with Sora. Sora is still a Sora character. So up close CQC can be a little bit difficult for Extreme, but we'll see how he'll navigate that if, you know, we get later into the stocks.
Just saw Extreme kind of get hit with the Thunder. And right now it's 59, or make that 81 to 31 in terms of damage percentage. Mr. Man's just showing no pace of slowing down right now, and almost went for the up smash to take out Extreme. Now just protecting the ledge. Wanted the Blizzard, not gonna get it, and yeah, just kind of a missed opportunity on the ledge.
Yeah, try to get the Ad-Shield up B. And one thing that Mr. Man has been doing, he's been using the threat of these projectiles, whether it be the ice or the thunder, primarily, which is covers a lot of range, right? And making Extreme go low, or making Extreme afraid of jumping, and then punishing accordingly. And as we saw, taking that last stock with the thunder. Yeah, we're gonna see how Extreme deals with this, because so far it's been pretty tough.
Absolutely, we're pretty much just seeing all the spells that Sora has, or magic, whatever it's called. I never played Kingdom Hearts, but whatever he's got under his disposal, just basically using him as a zoning tool instead of an actual like kill weapon. Although he has used the Thunder to take out the first stock. This could be a good throw from Extreme, not gonna get it. And exposing the recovery, and Extreme takes the fall. Mr. Main shows off the great recovery of Sora.
I don't know what happened, because I don't know if they were still an end lag from the air dodge, because Villager can recover from anywhere on the screen, so I don't know, maybe they were still an end lag, but the air dodge still is a little bit weird. Unfortunate SD, but on to the next stock. It's kind of funny, the gameplay we've been seeing, because we expected Extreme to kind of take the zoning approach, and it seems like they've been getting out-zoned by Sora so far.
And finally, Extreme gets their first stock in this match. Now here comes the tree to act as a protecting tool. Just gonna go ahead and chomp that down. And the ice from Mr. Man.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about Sora's counter that you don't have to worry about as Extreme, is it's not an actual counter against projectiles. It kind of just hits it away. So you kind of just throw things in front of Sora's face without fear of being retaliated in that way.
Mr. Man wanted the kill right there, not gonna happen. Trying to guard the ledge. And just a little few hits back and forth here and there. Comes the slingshot. Trying to grab, and then once again the up. Man, those up smashes aren't landing for Mr. Man.
Yeah, and right now, Mr. Man just has been just waiting in shield on stage, knowing that Extreme has to approach. And once again, Mr. Man, even with the Villager, going very deep off stage to take that last stock, and once again, convincing game.
Exactly. So Mississippi State now going up 10-0 against Marquette. Have yet to lose a game here in this match. Really, it's pretty hard to beat Mississippi State so far, obviously, from what we've seen. They've just been pretty dominant and pretty controlling over their opponents, making sure nothing really goes their way in the other direction. Let's take a look at this stock right here.
Yeah, that SD was pretty unfortunate. And I think they try to get back to stage as fast as possible. That's why they air dodge like that. Yeah, but even at that is, it's just a little strange. But yeah, but that's kind of what happens when you're kind of getting sped up by your opponent. You sometimes make rash decisions and flub a little bit, and we saw that with SD.
absolutely. Just probably thought maybe they were a little bit closer to the stage and tried to dodge for it, but just was not going to happen there. And thus, Mr. Man walks away with this game. And in game 3, we're going to see Miso for Mississippi State and just wanting the gentleman already to PS2. Right now, we're waiting for Marquette's next player in for game 3.
Yeah. Okay, Miso. Are you familiar with what character Miso plays?
You know, I am not familiar. I think Miso is. I've never seen Miso play this season yet. I'm not sure if I seen Miso last season too. But so we'll find out basically.
Okay.
I know. And it looks like Marquette's actually gonna go ahead and send in Quaz, and Quaz is the Pokemon trainer. So I know we'll probably see PT for sure.
Okay, yeah. Pokemon trainer, strong character, right? I feel like everybody's familiar with PT. And you know, it's gonna be interesting, right? Because one thing about PTs when they play online, they don't like to really play a lot of Squirtle. They tend to lean more towards Ivysaur and Charizard because it's the inputs, you know, they're bigger hitboxes, less inputs they have to do, like as said characters like Ivysaur and Charizard. So we're gonna see if they're actually gonna run the Squirtle and try to like run the Squirtle game plan out instead of going straight for the Ivysaur and Charizard like we usually see online.
Mm-hmm. I really think that Squirrel's definitely one of those characters that just really isn't meant to take stocks, basically just to rack up damage for Ivysaur and Charizard to eventually get the kill. So we might see a little bit, but that's just kind of my humble opinion. But
Yeah.
But it's gonna be Ike for Mississippi State, the heavy hitter swordsman from Fire Emblem on PS2.
Yeah, and this is actually a matchup where Squirtle can definitely excel, and we're gonna see right now if Miso can even recover because Squirtle is a character that'll push you to the ledge with ease, as we're seeing right now, and can be pretty relentless with it, right? Too, especially a character like Ike.
And already we're seeing a lot from Miso, kind of the aerial game from Ike, just those up airs trying to go ahead and take out the Pokemon as fast as they can, but not quite getting there. And so far, we're seeing a lot of ground control from Quaz against this Miso, and nearly takes the stock.
Jumps right in a row.
It's just that horizontal recovery from Ike. That's pretty good. It's not gonna happen there as Quaz throws him out of the ring, and now for the first time, Marquette has their first lead of today.
Yeah, and that's pretty commanding too, right? You saw KY just like reading their jumps and not letting it get back on the stage. And Miso immediately evening this back up.
And here comes Squirtle back once again, trying to zone Ike off the ledge, but he's gonna go ahead and push him to the other side of the stage. 52 to 20 in terms of percentage, and now climbing for Miso. And there's that shell trying to push him off. This is the water hose, but Miso obviously just gets back and is gonna try to find a way to hit, and
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that up B having super armor. And I was just about to say that this is actually the part of the matchup where I feel like Miso is gonna have the most trouble is against the Squirtle. The Squirtle is just too fast of a character for Ike sometimes in the ground. Even though Ike does swing pretty big, it just can be a hard time, fighting against the character. But now it's time to take the stock and up smash out his shield, and that's what the PT players like to do: turtle up his charger and up smash out his shield, and KY's still holding on to this lead.
Indeed, Miso looking for an opening and take out a stock, using that leaf through the platform, able to help get back on the stage. And oh my goodness, Ivysaur's just hitting right through the stage, basically.
Yeah, and right now Miso just looking for a hit. Ooh, and that forward smash almost connecting. That forward smash is so disjointed. It's a crime. But Yeah, KWA starting out with this Charizard, sticking with the Charizard right now, and I feel like even though he got that flare, but I feel like switching to Squirrel right now is probably in his best interest, but we'll see.
Yeah, I have to agree with you right there. I think Squirrel would be kind of a great starter, but right now, kind of at a 75, going up against a heavy, Squirrel might not be a good option anymore. But unless you find out ways to rack up some damage, and now this game got really, really even all of a sudden, 102-99 in terms of our damage ratios, and that was close for Quas.
And Miso already knows that KWAS wants that up smash out of shield, so they're gonna try to not do anything extremely unsafe on shield at this point.
The Ether able to
Okay,
create some spacing.
Boom! That's not gonna take the stock.
Nope. Ike just too heavy. Trying to go for the Ether. Oh my goodness, 2 dodges in a row! And with that, Marquette gets their first win of the day. Game 3, and it came from Quaz and Charizard.
Yeah, and reading that spot dodge with that back air, and I'm not gonna lie, KWA's almost through that because we kind of had like a Pyra Mythra situation going on where like they kind of stayed as Mythra a little bit Pyra a little bit too long, right? The slower character just getting hit a lot by Ike, right? And not switching to Squirtle back immediately just to run neutral, and got Miso back into that game, and Miso getting that spot dodge red, but you have to feel a little bit confident for Miso towards the end of that game after pretty much being behind for the majority of that game too. Game 1, excuse me.
Absolutely. I think really Miso found some stride late in that game. Just unfortunately couldn't finish it off. But I think you're right. I think Miso's going to be feeling good in game 2. Absolutely probably not going to be any character switches whatsoever for either one. And right now, our first ban from Marquette, or first bans I should say, are Town, Final Destination, and Smashville. So it's possible to run it back to PS2, or could be some other places.
Yeah, you probably run it back to PS2, but once again, as a sword character, I feel like a sword character probably go to a triplat like Battlefield or Yoshi's at this juncture. But I do have to say, I think one thing that Miso did find at the end of the game is that slowing it down just a little bit, right? I feel like they were swinging recklessly in the beginning of that game, and Quaz was just picking that apart. And I feel like towards the end of that, they kind of realized that they just hold it back a little bit, right? Let the game come to me, not swing so wildly. You know, I could probably get something going, and almost brought that whole game back. But it looks like they're gonna run it back to PS2. So
yeah, it kind of worked towards the end for Miso, and obviously Quaz wasn't going to have a problem with it, so we'll just run it back and just keep it simple for these two guys, and it's like we never left.
Yeah. So and I don't hate this coming out from Miso, right? Because I feel like a little bit minor adjustments they could be in this game. The game 1, excuse me. Yeah, running it back, and already we're seeing a little bit more patience coming out from Miso, and having KWA stuck at the ledge, but Ivysaur, man, just one of the biggest reversal characters in this game, I feel like.
Able to have some pretty good kill power, and just able to find some damage whenever he needs. It's kind of just like in between Squirrel and Charizard, where he definitely needs to be, but right now already seeing Charizard come into play. Miso kind of just playing the ledge, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
That was pretty close. I'm surprised that almost killed.
Yeah, and bringing that Nair with the back throw. And I feel like, you know, they're having a little bit more success right now with this Charizard. But I feel like this Charizard hasn't really been doing well against Miso so far. And it's mostly just been Quad just getting comboed by Miso and not being able to get things started, and they're kind of just tunnel visioning that up smash out of shield every time you switch a Charizard. So they might need to switch it up a bit, but why would you do that?
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, whenever you see Ivysaur doing that, it's like that. It's so active. It's active for like 18 frames, and it's insane.
Mhm. So far, kind of working for Quaz though. Although Miso already trying to flip stage here. 34-56 for both Marquette and Mississippi State, both sitting at 2 stocks apiece. Right now, Miso finding a little bit of stride with the Ether. Quaz
Yeah.
still sticking with Ivysaur here.
Yeah, and Quaz is having a hard time dealing with these aerials on shield. It kind of feels like they don't really know how to punish them correctly. Whether to not punish them, leave it alone. How am I gonna punish them, right? And Miso is kind of just using that to their advantage and just can relentlessly swing on the shield until they learn.
Absolutely, and now we're seeing 2 stocks to 1 in terms of both Marquette and Mississippi State. Obviously, Ike was 72% and PT with only 15, but we're seeing Squirtle coming in, a little bit of a light character. It's basically like Ike swatting a fly.
Yeah, just having a hard time now getting in, even that Squirtle and that forward smash, pushing Miso off to the side, but they need to figure out how to get this stock because I feel like if KWAS could get this to about the even percent with a stock lead, it's going to be pretty hard for KWAS to get back into this.
Yeah, Quaz definitely needs to get a stock right here as best as possible, and that's not gonna happen.
Ugh. Yeah, that that still works at certain percentages in certain windows, and I feel like Quaz also held in on that. So that confirmed, yeah, it just worked even so high up on the stage. But yeah, I mean, good stuff on Miso, bringing that back, running it back to PS2, and winning kind of convincingly too, even after they lost that first game.
Yeah, definitely kind of in control of that game from left to right from the start. And now, we're gonna see our first game 3 here. Maybe we'll go back to PS2, but I don't know. And really, I don't know, like how we kind of saw a totally different game from KWAS. Definitely was in most control of game 1, but here in game 2, kind of lost it all.
Yeah, just kind of lost the momentum, and I feel like, their game plan, like their game plan is pretty much centered around they racked up a bunch of damage as Squirtle or Ivysaur, and then they try to end it with up smash actually with Charizard, right? That's kind of what we saw in game 1. Game 2, we didn't really see a lot of the Squirtle. I feel like Miso kind of figured out like the flow chart that he was going for there with the Squirtle. And we saw him get punished for a lot of that. The Ivysaur totally was almost like a non-factor, right? Even though we probably usually see Ivysaurs for edge guards and whatnot and juggling. Yeah, it just seemed like total control from each character swap, and I feel like if I were PT, I would probably try to turn it up a little bit with the Squirtle, or go heavy juggling and range with Ivysaur, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. And for our bans, it looks like Mississippi State bans Battlefield, Yoshi's, and Palos. And it looks like Small Battlefield is going to be the final stage between these two players here. So going to be a pretty interesting pick.
Yeah, fast characters in Small Battlefield was always just pretty funny to watch. Mostly because it's such a small stage and there's all over you immediately. And I feel like a character like Squirtle gonna be really good on Small Battlefield. Even a character like Ivysaur, right? Just juggling Ike on. If we could get a juggling situation with Ivysaur, just juggling Ike with like up airs and stuff like that would be, probably be pretty hard for Miso to deal with. But we'll see. We'll see.
And characters are just going to be ran back. Obviously, no need to switch. Just stick to what you know. And we got the two platforms for Small Battlefield to really help. Kind of similar to PS2, except it looks like they're a little bit lower. Plus, like, the ceilings themselves are pretty much smaller in Small Battlefield. If I'm correct. I keep forgetting if they're smaller or not.
I mean, I think they are.
It is small Battlefield, so I would assume.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Quaz off to I mean a better start, but Miso still holding down that center stage really strong. And now this is the pick where if Quaz wants to, turn the tides, he's gonna have to play a little bit better with his Charizard in this situation. Right now, got Echo State, see what we can do, and the Flame Breath just not hitting like it should. And like I said, I feel like this is the matchup where Quaz needs to kind of turn it up a little bit because right now it's every time it's just a Charizard, it seems kind of free.
absolutely. Miso able to get an early stock in this game here, putting it 3-2 over Marquette. And now looks like Miso's coming back into control, just whacking Ivysaur just like nothing basically. Already 77% for Quaz, not really looking pretty good here.
Yeah, and getting predictable with that landing back air. Miso reading that with an up B, and right now it's just, struggling to find offense, almost trying to run in and find something, and SD coming out from Quaz?
Probably.
Okay. I was hoping it was SD and he didn't just give up. So
Yeah, I hope so too. Maybe a misinput as well, for sure. So 1-2 in terms of stock, but it won't be a 3 stock. Squirrel able to take on one thing from Miso, but already 91 in terms against 17 and 2 stocks. Looks like Miso's about to run away with this match here. Ooh. Oh yeah. Right on time.
We see the taunt at the end from Miso. Yeah, like that was a pretty big turnaround, right? Like, and this is what I was talking about before. I feel like even that last situation where you saw Quaz having Miso off stage with Ivysaur, not capitalizing on it at all, and Miso was just like, okay, well, just took it to the bank, cashed the check, and that was game, man. Yeah, I mean, very strong adaptation. You almost forget what game one looked like after those last two games.
Absolutely, Miso losing that first game. It looked like it was going to be pretty competitive, but then as the matches progress, oh yeah, that was definitely a misinput.
Yeah.
As the matches progress, Miso looks like he was just wanting to give him a freebie, basically, and really just winning the last two games with only 2 stocks in his pocket. But either way, Mississippi State with that commanding lead, and I believe it's 12-1 against, well, no, it's 16-1, excuse me, against Marquette University.
Yeah, 16-1. I don't know if it's just me, but when I saw Charizard hit by that up air, the first thing I thought was Charizard is big. I don't know, I don't know why, because tried to drift away, got hit. Yeah, just got hit with the tail, right? Just oh man, it's just yeah, it was just a rough experience for like Charizard in that matchup, and I feel like if anything were to change, especially tempo wise in that matchup, I feel like you could just have to just go try to fight speed against Ike, right? Because that's one thing that you have to do against Ike. You need to know how to punish Ike on shields, because you're gonna, if you let Ike get away with just naring your shield, so you kind of have to sometimes air to air him, but if not, you kind of have to kind of blitz him. And I feel like neither of those things got done, and you just saw Miso just adapt to game one and kind of just keep it moving.
Absolutely. And Marquette's going to send in their captain Spencer, who is a Nest player, and Marquette's going to bring in Canoe. Or, yeah, Mississippi State, excuse me, is going to bring in Canoe. And I guess they are Jigglypuff. And it's going to be PS2, spoiler alert.
Okay. Yeah, can't say much about this matchup, but we know that Jigglypuff did get some buffs, right? We saw a recent resurgence in Puff gameplay as of recent, and we'll see what happens, but we all know what Nest does.
Just PK fire all day. Just bet on how many PK fires you see, and you're gonna be a very rich person.
Yeah, and that was a good aggressive option coming out from Spencer, because that Nair probably could have ended that stock in the stock for them. So good aggressive recovery.
Yeah, so far pretty back and forth for the most part. No stock has been taken yet as we approach the last 10 seconds of this first minute.
Wow.
93 to 95. That should be an easy recovery, and it is. Oh my goodness. And
Wow.
Spencer's gonna take that first stock in commanding fashion.
And I respect Canoe going off deep for that. Even teching that that up air back to the stage. And yeah, and Spence is gone. Yeah, and also Spencer's recovering very aggressively, which I respect because you already know Jigglypuff's gonna go for off stage again. So definitely keeping that in mind.
Absolutely. We're seeing the side Bs from Canoe trying to come into play. Now, Marquette, I believe, has another Jigglypuff player. Yeah, Tiny, who is the Jigglypuff player.
Okay.
So that would have been kind of cool to see both in between Jigglypuff versus Jigglypuff, which one is superior. But yeah, starting to see a lot of people come back with Jigglypuff finally. Just a classic character to play as.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking how wow, yeah, Spencer trying to get that down air reversal. But I was gonna say I'm liking how Spencer was spacing, but it kind of didn't matter when Jigglypuff was on top of you like that, and evening it up one stock apiece.
Oh my goodness,
Watch
that
that shield.
Jigglypuff's side beat hits like a truck. Your shield is gonna be very, very, very broken if it gets hit multiple times.
Yeah, and this is scary because Spencer is just swinging right now. And as Jigglypuff, getting hit by any of those straight aerials can probably mean a stock loss for you.
Or
Yeah.
that. Or that. So Spencer, the captain for Marquette's gonna give a little bit more breathing room for Marquette as they beef up to 2 points over Mississippi State 16. Still quite the mountain to climb though to catch the champs.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say that I was liking how Spencer was just spacing away from Puff, throwing out a lot of back airs, a lot of nair out of shields, right? Such a big hitbox, right? Nair out of shield for Ness, and just keeping Puff at bay. And that's one thing that people don't realize. You don't really want to scrap with Puff a lot because Puff actually has pretty good aerial frame data. So like sometimes you see Puff throw out a nair out of shield, or just a nair out of hit stun, and you trade with it and you're off stage, and then Puff is just floating in front of you. And I was liking how Spencer was just spacing around Canoe a lot of the time and just keeping Puff away.
Looks like Marquette's gonna ban Smashville, Yoshi's Island, or Yoshi's Story, and Town. So we'll just await to see what Mississippi State picks next. They really like the PS2 pick a lot. Really, both schools do it from the most part. I mean, it is a good stage though.
Yeah, PS2. Yeah, PS2. Personally, I understand the whole PS2 thing. I do feel that sometimes people kind of bang their head against the wall into PS2 a little bit too much, because some characters actually do get a lot more off of PS2 than you do. I feel like sometimes people just default to PS2 kind of to a fault, but seems like we're gonna go to Battlefield first time. So as Puff against Ness, I don't know how that'll work out for them. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, from what I understand, I think Battlefield has a pretty high ceiling, so Jigglypuff has a lot of air, just around a lot of air movement for Puff. But I'm not quite sure. Just a lot of recovery and a lot of like air action too. But really, if you're going up against Ness, that's gonna be pretty tough.
Yeah.
But stage-wise, I was always a fan of Pirate Ship, but can't play that.
Yeah.
Can't play that in tournaments.
Nope. But already Spencer off to a quick 62%, and you saw them start out the game just throwing out forward airs, not letting Canoe get close to them at all. That's kind of what you have to do. And no jump. Okay, yeah, and good drifting by Spencer. And they followed that with the rest and got the star KO. Optimal?
Looks like Canoe knows what they're doing right here.
Yeah, and right now, man, Canoe with the emotional advantage. I feel like every time you get a rest, the emotional advantage goes up by like just a little bit.
And psyching out Spencer in direction of recovery. Oh, tried it again. And it's about. Oh, I thought he was gonna bring up the baseball bat. messing up my casting line.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Another one.
That's not getting a hard punish, but Canoe is just out for blood right now with these rests.
Trying to put Spencer to rest here.
Yeah, looking for that down air confirm right off of down air rest confirm. Trying to follow up with a dash attack, and yeah, right now Canoe is just turning it up, right? Just picking up the pace a bit, not letting Spencer set up that wall, which what they were doing earlier, and I'm liking this by Canoe.
Yep. Oh, and the yo-yo's gonna come into play. That yo-yo's just so deadly for Ness. If it's not PK fires that annoy you against Ness, it's the yo-yo for sure.
Yeah, and they tried, then they saw the yo-yo and tried to preemptively attack it, and nothing worked. We saw the pound. I think the pound was a little bit too slow. But, 60%, this is not unwinnable for Puff. And,
oh, no!
See that.
Why? He knows he has PK Thunder, right? Could have.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to do he tried to triple jump, He tried to
doesn't work like that all the time. But
yeah, it's unfortunate because like sometimes when you're hugged up against that the curves of the stages, this is for any stage, if there's a curve on it, you could kind of, especially if you're turned around, you could bounce off the side. You just see that happen to Fire Emblem characters a lot, not really Ness, because Ness usually doesn't care. But
yeah, for sure. And here comes that
rest.
rest.
Was insane. That was disgusting.
That's kind of like, you don't really expect that rest to come in a move like that. Usually I see Jigglypuffs throw their opponent up in the air before resting.
Mm-hmm.
And then just so you can like center your rest, but really came in from behind. That rest, it was pretty sick. Yeah, and just not quite sure what was going on right there.
Yeah, try to get a little bit too cool there, It happens.
Be a little too flashy. It looks like Kalos, Final Destination, and Lilat are banned, so we're just gonna go to Town in City.
Yeah, go to Town. Smaller side blast zones for Ness. Maybe try to get some cheese. Back throw kills. Yeah, I mean, pretty good set so far. But Spencer, man, might be kicking themselves the SD and try to go for another rest, and that is not a stop.
Just the sheer length of Town and City, just not quite enough to get a stock. Oh my goodness, try to put him to sleep.
Yeah, try to make them land on that platform to get a rest, and yeah, now they're just kind of going for it. Didn't get that hit confirm off the down air, kind of just went for it. Yeah, because Canoe is probably thinking like, yo, I'm up, my team's up, we already won this set pretty much. Why not try to get some rest in,
Just go for the highlight plays.
Yeah, I respect it.
So far, just trading a little bit back and forth here. Looks like Spencer wants to just play a little bit more conservatively. Just getting a lot of those aerials in, just making sure no damage comes his way.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Spencer's just building that wall and Canoe's just trying to find their way in. That's why you saw them sometimes. I feel like that's why they were going for haymakers a little bit, mostly because Spencer built that wall so well that they kind of just needed to try something to get in.
A great yo-yo move from Spencer, trying to go to PK plus, just left himself wide open right there.
Yeah, I don't know what that PK flash was, but I feel like NES players do that a lot, where they're off stage and they just start pressing buttons because they can, and then sometimes they get punished for it.
Trying to go for. Also trying to go for some highlight plays. Ooh, the flash just missed.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
follow
Right
up with the yo-yo.
Yeah, and Spencer taking it to the bank. Let's see if we're gonna. I thought we might see an up B read, but
Just not quite there.
yeah, playing it safe. Playing it safe. You're up. Just building that wall again against Puff.
A lot of spacing right there. Man, just missing hits and just throwing out your moves pretty much. Just waiting. All we're doing is waiting to see which player's gonna make a mistake first. This last stock, and here we go. Now it's both 1-1 for each of these guys.
Yeah, and wow, that nair trade just sent Puff across the stage. But yeah, Puff could still do this, you know. That side B was a little bit suspect on that shield, but got away with it. At 103, anything that Ness does out of shield just might take the stock.
And you also gotta be wary of Jigglypuff's rest too. We've seen it so many times, and Canoe's pretty good at using it, so definitely want to be careful with that as well.
Wow, and that's really good by Canoe, knowing that Spence was gonna go for these up airs, but Spencer with the quick back throw, stage pick coming into play, winning that set, and you know, going down with the fight.
Absolutely. It's always really impressive when you can take a set off the defending champions right here. Basically, what they need now, like, if they actually, yeah, it's pretty much physically impossible to catch up to Mississippi State. They have already won this game. Even if their last player finishes with a double 3 stock, getting 8 points, it's just simply not going to be enough to. It's simply not going to be enough to finish.
Yeah. Mathematically, they're out of it. But you know, good showing by Spencer. You know, keeping up, just keeping up the game plan, right? Of just building that wall against Puff, not letting Puff in. Ending with that back throw, which is pretty funny. It was a pretty quick back throw, just catching Puff's back air foot and just tossing him off stage. So that was a great ending to that set.
Absolutely. And for our final matchup, it's going to be Connor for Mississippi State and Dewizar for Marquette. And this is going to be a Yoshi versus Yoshi fight.
I feel like this is definitely a poetic way to end the set with a Yoshi Ditto.
Oh yeah.
But
we don't really see a lot of those these days. Yoshi versus Yoshi. So all I know is that Yoshi's gonna win this matchup, hands down.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I would bet all my money on Yoshi winning. But yeah, being from New York, I do see a lot of Yoshi players. So every once in a while we do see the Yoshi Ditto. It's something to watch. I'll say that much. It's definitely a show. If you like the carnival, it's probably something you'd like to do. But Yoshi's a character. I think we all know, heavy character, super armor, really annoying to hit, and it's gonna be the game of juggles between these two, like who probably has a better juggle game. The two, and Yoshi Ditto. That's kind of probably what you're gonna look for.
Absolutely, definitely gonna counter each other out. Basically, trying to figure out ways to predict each other's moves. Is basically just be like, okay, what would I do here, and then just counteract yourself. So it's definitely gonna be an interesting matchup here. Assuming that is we're gonna see both Yoshis, which pretty most likely is going to be the case. It looks like we're starting at PS2 to begin with. The classic gentleman's PS2, as we see, probably won't be the last time we see it too.
Yeah,
especially in the next few matches.
Yeah, and I feel like in a Ditto, right? I feel like in a Ditto sometimes Unless you do have a specific stage comfort pick, and we have,
Oh,
you know what, forget exact everything that we're talking about. We have a Joker versus Yoshi.
yeah. So it won't be the famous Yoshi Ditto, but Joker's a pretty good character to go up against as Yoshi with the speed and just like all the movements. Probably, arguably, from a lot of players, obviously a debatable topic, but probably the best character out of all the DLC fighters in both DLC fighter packs.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, Joker's like top 3 character in the game. So, um, but yeah, yeah, Joker. You know, Joker against Yoshi is pretty interesting, mostly because when Arsene comes into play, a lot of like the Yoshi shenanigans don't matter at the ledge because Arsene can kind of just break Yoshi's double jump armor at like later percents.
And we just saw Arsene already come into play, taking out the first stock on Dwyzar. Dwyzar looking for a quick under the stage stock, not going to get it though. And it's
Yeah.
just 119, make that 122 to 19.
Yeah, and good parry coming out from Connor Sanders because either it could have broke your shield or it would have poked. So that parry was very important because getting hit by a splash hitbox isn't that bad in that situation.
And now Dwyzar able to use the Yoshi bomb to even out our stock situation here. So it's now going to be 0 to 71 and Dwyzar climbing with the percentage.
Yeah, and yeah, right now, yeah, Dwyzar is just Luck needs to find a better way to start early offense against Connor Sanders. I feel like they're kind of floating around trying to find a hit, and we finally got that one hit, that forwarder. Got a lot of percent, and you know, not looking too bad so far in this stock.
Pretty even so far, except with 120 on Dwyzar's end. Now trying to change that. Now a little bit of momentum switching. And then a little bit of egging with Dwyzar. Another Yoshi bomb miss. Trying to do the juggle, not gonna quite land it. Kind of anybody's stuck at this point here.
Yeah, and the hardest part is over, getting through that Arsene, because as Yoshi against Arsene, that's probably like your biggest threat. And taking that stock with another down B, kind of reading Connor Sanders' jumps out of the corner. I feel like they kind of caught on to how Connor Sanders panics out of the corner and tries to jump into the stage. And right now, Dwyzar taking that lead.
This is kind of what Marquette needed, all that great moment. Especially if they're going to go next week. They had a 2-game win streak. Looks like it comes to end here.
And yeah, Arsene is obliterating Yoshi's stock. But Dwyzar still 80% on Connor Sanders. Almost getting that up smash read, and Arsene's about to finish. So Dwyzar's in a very good situation right now.
What? Ooh, and there was the situation. Looks like, and Dwyzar's gonna take this first game here, best of 3. So definitely getting a little bit more points on the board against the defending champs. Continuing for Marquette.
And yeah, can I tell you a little bit of lore about that confirm? You know, there are a lot of Yoshi players who don't know that's a confirm. And there's, I want to say about a month ago, I think one of the Yoshis, it wasn't Suarez. I think Suarez did it in a tournament, and people were like, "Is that true?" And that's a true confirm. Back air to forward smash is 100% a true thing, and that's a pretty big confirm for Yoshi. Sometimes, you know, a character that can maybe struggle to kill sometimes. It works on a lot of characters and has like a okay window. So that was very good stuff on Dwyzar. Recognizing that.
And we'll see here in the set in a second. But we're going to see that go transition in a Yoshi bomb in a sec. Actually, we'll see the stock from Connor Sanders. And then a little miss here. There it is. Pretty good stuff right here.
I feel like that's probably the coolest thing that Yoshi has. As honestly, like that confirm that first to the back into forward smash is like a pretty it looks like a pretty cool confirm. It's like one of those Nair 1-4 smashing from, right? So pretty good stuff.
And it looks like the character switched to Crom.
Speaking of Crom.
Well, interesting pick, and it looks like we're here on Smashville. Already dangerously low on the, what's it called?
That might be your stock.
Yeah, definitely going back and forth. Now at the switch here, almost looked like Dwyzar's momentum, but now a little bit of switching from Connor Sanders. Interesting that he's, his main guy is Yoshi, but throwing in Joker and now Crom, definitely able to expand on his character selections.
Yeah, and I feel like, having if they're actually Yoshi main, right? I feel like they would know how to exploit their character, what matches probably be annoying on Yoshi's end. Because that Joker game was kind of close. And this Crom game isn't looking too bad either. Crom is definitely a character that can give Yoshi problems.
Definitely with the speed, definitely some pretty good uses of the sword and that counter. Pretty good counter from Connor Sanders.
Oh, counter to teabag true combo? That's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, best combo. Haven't used that combo since Halo Reach.
Yeah.
And a little right back at it from Dwyzar. It's a little two players just having fun here in Smashville.
Yeah, I'm liking this energy. And this is the last set for the team, so I'm liking this energy coming out from both players.
Absolutely able to try to do what I like to call from Crom the discount ether. I'll try to cuck it with the egg, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah, and you can see Connor Sanders trying to read a jump out of the shield. Dwyzar not giving it to him. Now let's see if we get a punish on that. And that move can be hard to punish, but you have to. You know how there's no hitbox on the ascension. You need to hit him on the way up, because on the way down you're gonna definitely get smoked by something.
And there's that back air again with Yoshi. That tail of Yoshi is pretty deadly, especially if you're sitting at 135. But Crom also sitting at full rage, so pretty much can kill, but not right there.
Wow. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dwyzar taking that stock. I was just about to say good stall by Connor Sanders, but Dwyzar immediately taking that stock. And don't lose your stock here. Okay.
Yeah, not a good way to lose your stock with an egg. Okay.
Sports smashing. Out of hit stun.
Just pure entertainment is what we're seeing right here.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, and Dwyzar just not afraid, and that's one thing Connor Sanders hasn't been able to do against Dwyzar is hold Yoshi at the ledge, and that's something that Crom excels at.
Oh, and the down tilt just gonna knock him off, and with that concludes Marquette versus Mississippi State. Obviously, Mississippi State gonna run away with the dub on the season, but gives Marquette 10 points to climb up the ranks, obviously, in the final standings. And really, putting 10 points on defending champs, still pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely still put up a fight towards the end of that, even though it was kind of a foregone conclusion after a little bit. Still, fight, you fight till the very end. Get yourself some experience also, rack up some points too. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Mississippi State just once again dominant. Even though Dwyzar definitely put in work that last game. Mississippi State taken to the bank.
There you go. And yeah, just a lot of great back and forth action right there. Obviously the down tilt to finish it off. And we're gonna go to a short break and bring in an interview with Connor Sanders, captain of Mississippi State. So stick around, you do not want to miss it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are joined by Connor Sanders, the captain of Mississippi State. Connor, great game for you guys today.
Yeah, we were really happy with the result. Obviously, we kind of secured the win pretty early, so we weren't super concerned with some of the results from the last set, and we're just glad to go ahead and get another win in the win column.
Awesome. Did you guys have a specific game plan coming into this game here against Marquette? You know, them being on a 2-game winning streak, but did you guys have like anything specific that you guys wanted to match up against?
Yeah, the main thing, it didn't work out as great as we wanted it to because MIA had to play first just because he had somewhere to be. But we knew Spencer was our best player, and so we kind of wanted to see if we could either force him out early or make it to where he didn't feel the need to go in until it was too late. And we were actually able to accomplish that because he came in. And at the point where he came in, they had a double 3 stock for 2 sets for them to be able to win. And so we're really happy with where we were able to get him to come in at just to keep it from swinging in their favor at all.
Awesome.
Yeah, when it comes to character picks, I know you did say that you weren't really too concerned about some of the later games. In some of these character picks, did you use some of those matchups as practice, or was it more so just to throw it out there and see what happens?
Yeah, I was just kind of just testing some characters as far as secondaries are concerned, and I knew that it was a low stakes environment, so I knew that if there was ever a time as far as competition goes, that would be it. So I just wanted to see what would happen.
Awesome. And usually, from what we've seen from you, you're usually a Yoshi main. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So switching it up with Crom at the end, and then Joker, obviously. Are those going to be characters we'll probably expect on seeing in the future in this season, or maybe more Yoshi?
I could say more confidently yes if we do playoffs offline or any of the championship stuff offline. But as far as on Wi-Fi, maybe not. But if it's a matchup I just really don't want to play, and I'd rather just have a character that's really good and a little easier, then yeah, I might bring them back out. But mainly it's just Yoshi.
Awesome.
Yeah. And even though you guys did win today, is there anything that you would like the team to improve upon moving forward?
I mean, there's always room to improve, just as far as our combo games, playing advantage better, finding our openings a little bit easier. And I think a lot of it's just getting more comfortable, especially in the case of Mr. Man. He's picking up a new character. Miso is an extremely new player. He's only been playing since this summer. And so just learning matchups and stuff, I think just the experience is very necessary at this point where we're at as a team. There's not a lot of big things to clean up if we're wanting to get success at the highest level, but we do have some very small things that need to be addressed just to make sure that we are a little more consistent.
Awesome. And to wrap things up here, is there anybody you want to shout out?
No, just not one in particular, but just shout outs to Mississippi Smash and Smash Dogs at MSU. Just a really great place to get games, go to really competitive tournaments. I'm just really glad that we're in the area that we are, and it's just a very competitive and very close-knit place. It's made it really easy to improve and compete.
Awesome. Well, Connor, thank you so much for being here with us, and good luck to you guys rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, and we're going to take a break here. We're going to bring you guys Wichita State versus Fairfield University coming up, so stick around. You don't want to miss it.